कल स्टार्ट करें। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला रसूलिल्लाह रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी वयस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली सुब्हानक ला इल्म लना इल्ला मा अल्लमतना इन्नका अंतल अलीमुल हकीम. Inshallah, we will look at ayat from the beginning of Surah Ad-Dahr, the first 4 ayat, inshallah. Surah Ad-Dahr, from the beginning, the first 4 ayat. Surah Ad-Dahr, which is surah number 76. Surah number 76, Surah Ad-Dahr ya Suratul Insan. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Has there come upon man a period of time when he was not a thing mentioned? Indeed, we created human being, man, from a mixed sperm drop, so that we may test him. Then we made him hearing and seeing. Indeed, we guided him to the right path to become either grateful or ungrateful. Indeed, we have prepared for the disbelievers chains and shackles and blazing fire. क्या आया था इंसान पर ज़माने से एक वक्त जो वो काबिल ज़िक्र चीज़ ही ना था। बेशक हमने इंसान को पैदा किया है एक मखलूत नुत्फ़े से ताकि उसको आज़माए। फिर हमने उसे समी और बसीर बनाया, सुनने वाला और देखने वाला। बेशक हमने उसको रास्ता दिखाया, सही रास्ता दिखाया, या तो वो शुक्रगुजार बने या नाशुक्रा। बेशक हमने तैयार कर रखा है काफिरों के लिए जंजीरें और थोक और भड़कती हुई आग। Surah Ad-Dahr is surah number 76 of Qur'an Kareem. In the order of Qur'an, it is surah number 76. In Revelation, this is surah number 30 or 31. The majority of the Mufassirun, they agreed that this is Makki surah, not Madani. Some of the Mufassirun, the scholars, they have these differences. They say this is Madani surah. And that is based on some ayat of this surah, which is ayat 8 to 10. The main theme and subject of this surah is the day of judgment and the creation of the human being. This surah is connected to the previous surah, which is Surah Al-Qiyamah, because the theme of both the surahs is the same. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talked about the creation of the human being in the previous surah. And in this surah, Surah Ad-Dahr, the same subject is continued from the very beginning. In the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned about the day of judgment. In this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us some further detail of the day of judgment. Surah Ad-Dahr, Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he narrated, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he used to recite Alif Lam Mim as-Sajda in the first rakat and Surah Ad-Dahr in the second rakat of Fajr on Friday. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to recite Alif Lam Mim as-Sajda and Surah Ad-Dahr on Friday in Fajr Salah. And the reason was that in Surah Alif Lam Mim Sajda and Surah Ad-Dahr, the creation of the human being is mentioned. And the ending of the human being is mentioned as well. Jannah and Jahannam are mentioned in these two surahs. This was a weekly dars from the Prophet ﷺ to remind the people that Friday is the day that the day of judgment will happen. So Surah Ad-Dahr, in the beginning, هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. In these ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He reminding us our reality. And that is for two reasons. Number one, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that, O human being, why don't you remember, why don't you ponder upon the time when you were not a thing worth mentioning? That is for two reasons. Number one, those people who deny the day of judgment, this is the lesson for them to reflect and to look at these ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you were not there and He brought you here, He gave you life. And then the way, the different stages that you went through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He did that for you. How can you deny resurrection on the day of judgment when you were not a thing mentioned and Allah created you? Now, on the day of judgment, the only thing that you will be revived. You already created. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are already there. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will revive and will raise you again on the day of judgment. So that is much easier than creation of the first time. That's why it's mentioned in these ayat. The second thing why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned the creation of the human being to remind them that why you are so arrogant, why you are so mutakabbir and full of ghurur, why you become proudful of yourself and you deny the favors, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at your time when, if I'm 45 or 4 years old today, exactly 46 years ago, I was not there. The child that will be born after a year, after 2 years, there is nothing to talk about him and anything mentioned about him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that I give you this life. I created you. And then the way that you were created, if you look at that, you will not become arrogant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, هَلْ أَتَى عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ. هَلْ أَتَى, has come, عَلَى الْإِنسان, on man, on human being, حِينٌ, a period, min ad-dahr, of time. A period of time, lam yakun, when he was not, shay'an, a thing, maskuran, mentioned. Hal ata, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is asking question. Hal, this is harf istifham, and this is called istifham taqriri. In the beginning of some surahs, we can see this letter, hal. It is for emphasis. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is 100% true and sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He says, that you are not a thing worth mentioning. But He is asking question, hal ata, has come upon man a period of time when he was not a thing mentioned? So the answer is definitely yes, there was a time. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is asking us the question to grab our attention. That for sure, there was a time that you were not mentioned. You were not something worth to mention. Hal ata, has come ala al-insani, on human being, حين min ad-dahr, a period of time, lam yakun, when he was not, shay'an, a thing, maskuran, mentioned. Inna khalaqna al-insan. And the difference between heen and ad-dahr, I mentioned last week, heen is a limited period of time, and ad-dahr is unlimited. That is from the very first day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created this entire universe, and until the last, that is for us, it's unlimited. But to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows about that. So dahr is from the very beginning to the end. And heen is a very short period of time that is given to the human being. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that the time that is given to you, that is a short period of time. In the beginning, you were not there. At the end, you will not be there. In the mid, there is a small period of time that you are staying there. So that is only your time. Inna khalaqna al-insan. Indeed, we created insan, human being, min nutfatin amshaj, from a mixed sperm drop. Min nutfa, from a drop, amshajin, mixed. So that is mixed. One meaning is that nutfa, that sperm drop, is a mixture of the mother and the father. That's why it is called amshaj. Nabtalihi, so that we may test him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that why I created you, the only purpose of your creation is that to test you. So the entire life of the human beings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that this is just to test you. So the life that we have, the blessings that we have, the favors, the wealth, the children, the family, everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, that is for test. That is trial. فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. And that's why we made him sami'an, hearing, basiran, and seeing. That's why we gave him ears to hear something, and we gave him eyes to see something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, I have given you the ears and the eyes so that you could be tested. So the meaning of Sami' and Basir, these are the organs of the human body that is mostly used. And the benefits mostly comes by these two organs. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned that. But the meaning of Sami' and Basir means that you are the person of aql, you are a person of common sense, you are a person of consciousness. فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا, we made him Sami'an, hearing, Basiran, and seeing. إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلِ, indeed we guided him as-sabil, to the right path. إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا, so to become either grateful or ungrateful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that after the creation of the human being, all the human beings are divided into two groups. Number one is the group of people who are grateful, who are believers. They accepted the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the prophethood of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They are shakirin. And kafur are those people who denied the oneness of Allah and who denied the message of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that I have shown them the right path, either to become a grateful or ungrateful. And that path is mentioned in Surah Al-Balad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ, we showed him two ways, two paths. One is the path, the way of hidayah, and the other one is the path of dhalal, that is misguidance, kufr and shirk. إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَلَاسِلَ وَأَغْلَالًا وَسَعِيرًا, indeed we have prepared لِلْكَافِرِينَ, for the disbelievers, salasila, chains, وَأَغْلَالًا, and shackles, وَسَعِيرًا, and blazing fire. Now, for the two groups, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned the second group first, which is the group of the disbelievers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, those who are kafirin, those who are kafur, Allah prepared for them chains and shackles and blazing fire. So this is the first group. Salasil, they are chains. And aghlal, these are shackles that will be around the necks. And chains, salasil, are the chains that the entire body to tie up with. So on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, we prepared for the disbelievers salasila, chains, wa aghlala, and shackles. And in Surah Al-Haqqa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned, ثم في سلسلة زرعها 70 ذراعا فاسلكوه. On the day of judgment, the disbelievers, they will be shackled in a chain that the length of their chain is 70 hands, or you can say 70 yards, and they will be thrown in Jahannam. So these are salasil. Wa aghlal, aghlal is something which is around the neck. In Surah Al-Ghafir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned, Zil aghlalu fi a'naqihim, when the aghlal will be around their necks. So aghlal are something that is around the neck. And salasil are chains. That chain could be around the hands, or handcuffs, or leg cuffs, or to be around the body. That is just a general word for chain. But aghlal is specifically something around the neck. Inna a'tadna lil kafirin, indeed we prepared lil kafirina, for the disbelievers, salasila, chains, wa aghlalan, and shackles, wa sa'ira, and blazing fire. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hal ata, has there come, alal insan, on man, on human being, heenun min ad-dahr, a period of time, lam yakun, when he was not, shay'an, a thing, maskuran, mentioned. Inna khalaqna al-insan, indeed we created insan, human being, min nutfatin amshaj, from a mixed sperm drop. Nabtalihi, so that we test him. Faja'alnahu, so we made him sami'an, hearing, basiran, and seeing. Inna, indeed we, hadaynahu, guided him, as-sabila, to the right path, imma shakiran, to become either grateful, wa imma kafura, or ungrateful. Inna a'tadna, indeed we prepared lil kafirina, for the disbelievers, salasila, chains, wa aghlalan, and shackles, wa sa'iran, and blazing fire. One more time. Hal ata, has come, alal insani, on human being, heenum min ad-dahr, a period of time, lam yakun, when he was not, shay'an, a thing, maskuran, mentioned. Inna khalaqna al-insan, indeed we created al-insan, human being, min nutfatin amshaj, from a mixed sperm drop, nabtalihi, so that we may test him. Faja'alnahu, so we made him sami'an, hearing, basiran, seeing. Inna hadaynahu sabil, indeed we guided him, we shown him as-sabila, the right path. Imma shakiran, to become either grateful, wa imma kafura, or ungrateful. Inna a'tadna, indeed we prepared lil kafirina, for the disbelievers, salasila, chains, wa aghlalan, and shackles, wa sa'ira, and blazing fire. Rules of Tajweed. I went quickly on the ayat. We have अच्छा मैं करता हूँ ठीक. हल अता, क्या आया है, हल क्या अता आया है, अलल इंसान, इंसान पर, हीनुन, एक वक्त, मिन अद्दहर, ज़माने से, लम यकुन, जो ना था, शैअन, कोई चीज़, मस्कूरन, काबिल ज़िक्र. इन्ना, बेशक हमने, खलकना, हमने पैदा किया, अल इंसान, इंसान को, मिन नुत्फतिन, एक नुत्फे से. कौन सा नुत्फ़ा? अमशाज मखलूत. सो मिलाकर इस तरह तर्जुमा करेंगे, मिन नुत्फतिन अमशाज, एक मखलूत नुत्फे से. नबतलीह, ताकि हम उसे आज़माएं. फ़जअलनाहु, पस बनाया हमने उसे, समीअन, सुनने वाला, बसीरन, देखने वाला. इन्ना, बेशक हमने, हदैनाहु, दिखाया उसे, अस्सबीला, सही रास्ता, इम्मा शाकिरन, ताकि वो या तो शुक्रगुजार बने, व इम्मा कफूरा, या नाशुक्रा. इन्ना अअतदना, बेशक, इन्ना, बेशक हमने, अअतदना, हमने तैयार किया है, तैयार कर रखा है, लिल काफिरीना, काफिरों के लिए, सलासिला, जंजीरें, व अगलालन, और थोक, व सईरा, और भड़कती हुई आग. रूल्स ऑफ तजवीद. बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. हल अता अलल इंसानी, इंसानी, नून साकिन इख्फा, हीनुम मिन अद्दहरी, मीम मुशद्दद गुन्ना, लम यकुन, नून साकिन इख्फा, शैअम, अगेन मीम मुशद्दद गुन्ना, शैअम मज़कूरा, Dhal will be soft, madhkura, ra heavy. Inna, noon mushaddad gunna. Khalaqnal, kha and qaf both heavy, but qaf has qalqala too. Khalaqnal insana, noon sakin ikhfa, min nutfatin, noon mushaddad gunna, and ta heavy with qalqala. Nutfatin أمشاج نبتليه نون مشدد غنة and باء قلقلة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. Here is idgham of mim sakin, idgham of tanween I mean. Idgham of tanween, you will see a small mim there, so you can recite mim completely, or you can recite in between mim and noon. This way, Sami'an basira. To completely change tanween by mim, Sami'an basira, or Sami'an basira. This way. Inna noon mushaddad gunna, hadaynahu as-sabila imma شاكرا وإما كفورا. Both places ميم مشدد غنة. إنا أعتدنا دال قلقلة للكافرين سلاسل. ألف is silent. We will not stretch it. سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا. لام connected with واو. إدغام. أغلالا وسعيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا. إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا. Just one rule of tajweed to remind. When we are reciting here, so we say inna khalaqnal insana. But the rules of tajweed is that when we are reciting, if I'm not teaching and I'm reciting to myself, so and I want to stop on insan, so I will make the last letter silent. Inna khalaqnal insan. Let's say that if I needed to stop there, I'm not supposed to stop there, but for some reasons, if let's say I can continue with the same breath, then I will stop somewhere, and if that is full stop, if stop sign is there, so then we should continue, we shouldn't come back. But if there is no stop sign, then we will take the same word, we will take one or two words from the back and we'll continue. Let's say this way. إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه. So نبتليه, we will stop here and we'll make the last letter silent. That is mistake if we do نبتليه and then فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. That is mistake. So but I shouldn't, if I stopped on nabtalihi and I don't see any stop sign there, then go back and again start from here. نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. This way. حين من الدهر جزاكم الله خير. ما شاء الله. جزاكم الله خير. بارك الله فيك. جی نذیر. بسم الله. جزاكم الله خير. علی بھائی.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا. شروع اللہ کے نام سے جو بہت مہربان نہایت رحم والے ہیں. ہم نے کافروں کے لیے زنجیر اور طوق اور دہکتی آگ تیار کر رکھی ہے.
ماشاء اللہ. جزاكم الله خير. ما شاء الله. جزاكم الله خير. سعد بھائی. You skipped one word? That's great, mashallah. Mashallah. Mashallah, mashallah. Jazakallah khair. Mashallah. Jazakumullah khair. Thanks. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallah. جزاكم الله خير.